Good afternoon, I'm James Tetreault with your Southwest Ag Grain Market Update for December 1st, 2017. So as we move into a new month, that also means we're moving from the December futures to the March futures. One thing we might be able to look towards for some new fresh news in this December month is Tiger Woods is back on the golf course. And the last time Tiger won a major championship back in 2008, March futures close at $691. So hey, maybe that's some fresh news we can look at for this month. Moving into some three things that we're watching in this market today. Just going to go an overview over what we've seen in the month of November, some ethanol news that we're hearing out there, and South American crop update. So as we move into what we've seen in the month of November, corn prices were up moderately after a round of short coverings kept prices in the green. Despite lackluster export sales, December prices held on for a 2-cent gain to close out the month at $3.39, which means March target is at $3.39. So as we go into some more news that we've been hearing out there, so for the week ending November 23rd, USDA reports corn export sales totaled at 23.6 million bushels. That's sharply lower than the 42.6 million bushels from the week prior and 54% lower than the 4-week average. Moving into soy prices were way down by lower than expected export sales data, coupled with news that the EPA would not increase biodiesel requirements between 2018 and 2019. USDA also reports soybean export sales last week were slightly higher than the week prior at 31.9 million bushels, but couldn't quite match trade estimates of 38.6 million bushels and were 25% lower than the 4-week average. Moving into wheat, wheat export sales were down 8% from a week ago and 59% lower than the 4-week average, with 6.8 million bushels in old crop sales and 100,000 bushels in new crop sales. That's slightly behind last week's total of 7.9 million bushels and moderately lower than trade estimates of 12.9 million bushels. One other thing to note for wheat, Saudi Arabia is also seeking 500,000 metric tons of milling quality wheat. As we move into ethanol news, the EPA finalized its biofuel requirements for next year, saying it will require 19.29 billion gallons of renewable production into fuels, up from this year's 19.28 billion. Biodiesel targets were unchanged at 2.1 billion gallons, so those numbers seem to make no one happy. So as we move into Ontario ethanol news, sounds like Ontario government is going to increase its mandate for ethanol in gasoline to 10% from the current 5% requirement as part of its effort to cut greenhouse gas emissions from fuels. Interesting chart as well, ethanol, if we look at that, at the December 17 futures versus the ethanol prices, we are seeing some large gaps there. Moving into South America, the market attention has slowly shifted to South America, where a growing crop is just emerging and planting is finishing up. The weather there for the next few months will determine crop yields in South America, and that will have a big impact on the price direction of most grains during that time. Both Argentina and Brazil should see favorable weather over the next 14 days, which will help finish up first crop planting and improve growing conditions. Temperatures are moderate and rain is in the forecast. Looking at Brazil planting update, soybean planting is catching up to the average, but the first crop corn planting continues to run behind the average. Moving into the Canadian dollar is up this morning. We're starting to see Ontario harvest finishing up. And at the moment, currently beans are up 7 at $9.93, corn's up 2 at $3.58, and wheat is up 3 at $4.12. This has been your Southwest Ag Grain Market Update for December 1st, 2017. I'm James Tetreault. Have a safe and happy harvest.